In einem 30-minütigen Devstream hat uns Christian Hagedorn das Content-Update rund um das Festival der Blumen im Detail vorgestellt. Bevor wir starten, möchte ich aber noch kurz die Fehler aus den gestrigen Die Siedler News zum DLC korrigieren. So ist die Beerenpresse tatsächlich ein echtes neues Gebäude, welches aus zwei Beeren den nun neuen Beerensaft herstellt. Mit diesem Saft könnt ihr fortan gut am Hafen handeln und zudem die Alchemisten ausbilden, die ab sofort nur noch diesen Saft benötigen. Sollten spielerübergreifend 800.000 Tränke produziert werden, erhalten alle Spieler am Ende des Events 2500 Relikteile und 50 XP. In diesem Sinne übergebe ich das Wort an Christian Hagedorn.
And the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna talk right away about the most important things, the most important additions that have come with this update. If you take nothing else, take these three, because there are new maps, there's a new building, and there's a new meta. There are over 100 changes that we have shared with everyone, and we are excited to see where this will take the game to. All right, and we are directly into the game. And while, of course, the new maps are an exciting thing, I know everyone wants to know more about the building. The building is right here in the center of the screen. It's the Beerenpresse. The Beerenpresse has been shared by the 𝗦𝗏, their knowledge, to all other factions, so you will see representations of the different versions of the Beerenpresse for each of the factions. The Beerenpresse grabs two berries, of course, as input, and delivers the favorite thing for everyone to share always in festivities, the potion. So the potion is a new bottled liquid that is readily available for units to then take and use, because the potion straight up and right away has become the new recruitment good or product for the Brun initiates. So what used to be the lower level or the shorter range, actually that makes more sense, the short range units for the Brun Academy has now changed their cost from the hundreds of coins that they used to have to the potion. That means there's a new way to obtain units, there's a new way to begin warfare when it's involving buildings, thanks to the availability of berries being much more early into the chains than gems. That means it will be easier for players to acquire these Brun initiates and to use them throughout their games. This is the most important change regarding the addition of the new building. Of course, the new product can be used for trading. It has its own trading price. We're going to talk about trading in a little bit. But just the ability to get fighting bodies together just with berries, and of course the materials that it costs to place the building, because for everyone, it's over there. Oh my god, my mouse. There we go. It is not a cheap building, but it is something you can aim out for even in early game. And to aid in this situation, we have also changed the initial resources to every skirmish map. So when competing in against other players or against the computer, you will see that there are better opportunities, easier opportunities to distribute your early game goods to see if you want to go into Beerenpresse and Brun initiates or some other path. And the units that we generate, let me show you over here in the map. They are what people usually got as rewards in some of the landmarks. They are in my case, the alchemists, because I am playing with Elari right now, the Brun initiates. They have very short range. With research, they have some effects on death, so it's interesting then to see how players may use this unit to produce many of them and send them into enemy lines, maybe even to die with a purpose, die with a passion. And also because it's going to aid in the resistance against early game placed towers or bastions that may get in the way to a victory. Okay, so we have now gone through what is new with the building. There's a new building, there's a new way to use berries. Berries, of course, have now increased in value because of their versatility of what they can do. And finally, bread also has increased their value because it is possible to food boost the Beerenpresse with bread. Cool. I am now in 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Let's go over both new maps because there's so much to say about this. 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 in particular is our most confrontational map. And you will determine this the minute you enter into the game, because you will look to your right and right away you will see your opponent. So the starting area between the two players in this 1v1 map is literally within sight of the other player. Of course, they cannot access this because there are gates closing the ways. Now, these gates can obviously be opened by either player. You can see which gate will be useful to you or useful to the enemy by observing where the arrow is pointing, right? That's where the entrance is to pay the toll. And if any of the two players manages to deliver the rewards, the gates will be open, and it's the closest shortcut to the opponent's starting area that you can imagine. Of course, on your side, you may want to protect this entrance so that you're not immediately destroyed if the door opens and you don't see it coming. The most important part of this is the map is offering a clear insight in how the enemy is progressing and how you compare against their progress. To this, there is a new change that now is preventing, well, of course, not in casual mode, but in PvP, it's preventing to see the opponent's score. So you will not be able to guess out of their score if they're doing better or worse than you. We have the Ranger unit that is capable of revealing the fog of war. We encourage everyone to practice using them much more efficiently. Okay, so the starting area looks very dangerous, but it's actually close. It's openable with fish. But where are fish? Well, fish are the whole way to the northern side of the island. Only when you reach this distance can you even find fish. Before, it's all cliff sides, which are not really very friendly for fishing. Okay, so we now have two immediate goals. There's a door that we want to protect, and there's a fish that we want to reach. But on the way there, there's obviously many things to both take advantage of, examine, and even decide on what to do and how to use. There's mining areas that you will see distributed all over the place. There's another one there, and there's a third one over here. And more importantly, there are our very fan favorite beacons. So these beacons claim a large area around them when the delivery is completed by the engineers. So it will be up to the players if they want to use their engineers just to cut through, or if they want to spend the 10 resources in this case in order to complete the beacon and obtain all the land around it. So now there's ways to choose whether you want to manually get there or even accelerate the way there. Not only that, you will also observe there are tunnels, and these tunnels are available right from the start. However, each one of them is actually covered as perfectly as possible by a group of bandits. So when you decide to go through the tunnel, you have to make sure that you're going to be able to break through, eliminate all the bandits, and then continue. Otherwise, your units will be killed on sight. If you just send one or try to run away, it will just not work. So when you decide to break through the tunnels, it is time to fight with the bandits. Alternatively, you can go all the way around as we were showing here, and you will meet two different paths. One of them leads directly to the opposite side where the opponent would have reached, including some extra rewards here to be claimed while fighting bandits, of course. And I don't want to show that. It's so full of cool things. And the other path is showing directly towards the center where the shortcuts with the bandits are also pointing. And all of it leads to the giant tree of hope. We literally wrote giant because it is that large. The giant tree of hope contains one of our new features also that can be found within the maps. And in this particular case, what it does is it offers you the reward of blossoming hope once you send enough military units to secure the location. Blossoming Hope has the particularity that it stacks together with any other upgrade that you have researched, so it's not part of the academy. And what's even better, keeping control over the Tree of Hope will grant increasing stacks of Blossoming Hope. That means that it's not a matter of just showing up the first time and trying to rush for it and getting the reward for yourself, but rather moving over, controlling the situation, and accumulating this bonus to the point where the opponent no longer can compete at the same pace. So breaking open the giant Tree of Hope starts a timer into coming back for it and vying for control at the right time that I'm pretty sure players will find the best ways possible to prevent the enemies from doing it and to try to score this for themselves. All in all, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a very active map. because not only are all of these different possibilities or options open, the map in itself contains one resource in a very low quantity at the start, and that is stone. I wish I could even show you, but just the minutes that I have played in order to reach this save state already have depleted not only the first quarry that I had here, but the second one that I had over there as well. And there are more stones the further you progress. So what this really encourages players is to find the ways to see how they move forward into the map, take control of the new areas, and maybe even move over their production facilities or even central usage of warehouses to the next area that has all of these materials available. And because fish are not quite in reach, it will take a while before players can take full advantage of boosted productions. So knowing how to use the stone correctly is a key ingredient in mastering 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. With all of this information, I have shown quite a lot. I did not want to show exactly what happens when the giant reefs of hope is claimed. I'm pretty sure players will enjoy this as they play. What we want to show next is a little bit of insight into 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. So 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a 2v2 map. In order to jump to it, we're going to have to go through a hardcore mission, because otherwise I am playing here on my own. I don't have 3 readily available computers ready to jump into a game for me. So we are going to go to that map right now. But before we go there, we have yet another video to show you.
Easiest job today.
We are loading into 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I hope. Otherwise, the game will probably leave me hanging here. I think that's actually going to be the case. We may need a minute here to sort through technical difficulties. Yeah, the remaining time is the estimate loading time until I can finally jump into it. No. It's all going to be fine. So please give us a minute. We're really happy to show also 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's trickier to show alone a 2v2 map, so we have to prepare a very special scenario. But we're going to do our best to see if we can restore everything back into it. So you will have to bear with us as we try to recover the state. Should I? I'll try. Okay. So I'm going in on all of this. You have to be very patient. Okay. Is this... Yeah, this is harder when you're alone, especially when things don't work as intended. You'll get these types of surprises. But let me tell you a little bit about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 while we restart the game and launch again. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is by far one of the largest 2v2 maps that we have presented. So I need to launch the game like this. The coolest thing about it is not just that you obviously have a lot of building space and many paths to discover or to even help your ally or choose where to expand for what type of resource. But also the important part of it is presented as a puzzle. And I'm really excited to show you how cool this idea is, because once you get into it, the options of where to go open up or close depending on what's happening in the map. So I'm going to give it another shot. We're going to load the map once again. I hope I can even show in real time. If not, I think there's still something I can do in order to show the map. So do not lose hope. We are trying our best to show you the content. We are in. I am back into the game. See, nothing happened. Everything is perfect. Okay, so this is 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and as you see, the footprint of the camera already compared to the rest of the map is gigantic. Now, I only started a little bit of the hardcore mission. I don't want to show everyone what the procedures will be in order to complete the magical pavilion in the center of the map in time. but I certainly want to show it to you. So first of all, a giant applause for all the teams involved in the creation of maps, because what they have done for 𝗦𝗶𝗲𝗍 is just beautiful. I think it's easy to observe how much craftsmanship each of the factions that have participated in this have put into it. So the pavilion is at the center of the map, and of course it begins locked. It is full of mystery. And in order to complete it, there are two magical heroes that we need to work with. Okay, so the magical heroes are actually not alive, they are statues, and both the Maru and the Ellari have their own magical hero statue as part of the 𝗦𝗶𝗲𝗍 forest garden. So these are the statues that the players have to reach. They have an objective. I think we can see it right away. It even already uses the new potions. But if you try to backtrack from the statue to your original location, you will start seeing gates. Actually, you know, I cannot even see them because I cannot even reach that with one of my units. There is another gate here. I can see that one. There is a wishing well over here. I'm already showing spoilers. There is another gate, and when players fight in PvP or in casual mode, there is yet another gate here. So the main path to reach the mystical side of the gardens is covered with puzzles. And not only that, as you take care of the wishing wells, other wishing wells may become active. So in this particular case, there are wishing wells back here, but they are not active yet. Try another. So in this case, figuring out in which order do players want to complete the wishing wells, or even maybe not complete it or prevent them from being completed so that other enemies cannot claim the rewards. It's going to be very interesting to see how this challenge being offered to the players will be resolved by them. And what's even more important, I know I show it as a spoiler, the rewards for these wishing wells and for other landmarks in other maps as well now can include complete researches from the Academy. So not only would you be able to skip the costs of this particular research, you skip the entire idea of having to unlock the precise tree in case it's in one of the advanced ones, and to pay all the resources for the previous researches just to be able to reach this bottom one. So I think over here, we can see that there are many different type of researches obtainable as rewards. And it also may be up to the two allies to discuss, hey, maybe we unlock this and then you get cursed ground and I get the other one, squire assignments. Yes, I was even correct. And I get squire assignments so that I take the most advantage out of it and you do yours. So the communication between players is going to be a very interesting topic and paramount for everyone to enjoy this map. Through pings, of course, please remember also console players can do it as well, or controller players. Shift clicking into the map offers a ping, so this is the quickest communication method. Both players can do it. They can also remove it with shift right click, and that way the easiest of communications is available, or the fastest, let's say. Okay, what else is available in 𝗦𝗶𝗍𝗍𝗍? Not only is it so full of interactions, then the paths towards different resources going quite opposite directions, but as always, they are aided by our favorite, the beacons. So we have now expanded the usage of beacons and placed it in multiple maps so that players can choose to see if they want to sacrifice the precise resources that these beacons require, or if they prefer to use their own either engineers or accumulated economy with new buildings in order to claim that territory. Okay, so as we said, 𝗦𝗶𝗍𝗍𝗍 is a little bit of a puzzle, a little bit of an interesting challenge when playing together with friends or with like a competitive environment, because the opportunities within the map are very diverse. And that's super interesting in terms of, especially in comparison with other maps that maybe have less pathways to reach the enemy or even more open ways in order to how to brew the conflict. So the fact that this door can remain closed in a skirmish mode also means that you can maybe forego of the rewards in order to keep that flank protected forever, or you can join into the fray if you detect your opponent is trying to go for the same reward as what your side can open. All of these little intricacies will make 𝗦𝗶𝗍𝗍𝗍𝗍 an extremely fun map. Okay, so I have mentioned a few things that maybe even different than the expectation of some players that have played the game so long. And that's because many details throughout the balance changes that we have performed are really going to change what we call the meta, right? Like the different approaches or strategies that players have to each of the opportunities that their faction or the map offers, right? So there is not one unique solved way in order to win every map, but players get accustomed to what they can perform the best or what they have learned how to precisely get the timing right for. Now, with the new changes that we are adding, and I'm going to be jumping to the other map in order to have a bit more availability of things to show. There we go. I hope it all works. While we observe that players have learned their tactics and they felt kind of comfortable again in it, offering new incentives to think differently is exactly what makes the meta so interesting. Because just the conversation about what are we going to do with this new opportunity triggers maybe new ideas on different aspects or different strategies that players had previously not even thought about. The first one, of course, that we mentioned is right away the availability of units being produced by berries, right? Like we understand the possibility to have one more type of confrontation unit just by acquiring berries, even though they are not great at fighting other military units in comparison to, you know, a regular soldier. It already offers quite the change. But we did a lot more than this. Like I mentioned, there are over 100 balance notes and changes. We're not going to go through them. I want to go through 4 of them, which is already quite plenty. So please bear with me as we try to handle all of this. The first one, of course, was this about the new unit. However, to offer a counterpart to this are the changes to the towers and the bastions. So usually there were 2 moments where players built this type of defenses. They were either trying to block a choke point, or they were trying to create an entire wall of defenses so that they could not be stopped. Now there are multiple changes that will offer new ways or new incentives on how to utilize these towers. They may be placed now in the middle of their own economy, or they may be used in order to claim terrain, because as of now, for example, the bastion has 1 extra claiming range compared to previously, which means just by building this building, I already acquire this amount of hexes. If you are playing with the 𝗏 faction, you get an extra 1. If you're also having the research of extra 4 hexes from the academy, that is 10 hexes right away claimed just by building one of the bastions. So considering, for example, the 𝗏 have a discount on the bastion, the possibility of the 𝗏 player of now saying, you know what, maybe I just start spraying out a few bastions to claim the whole land is very real. And we're going to be very excited to see if players take on this type of new ideas, new approaches, new hitting the microphone, and new tactics. So that's going to be very cool. It's not just that, though. All of the defensive buildings, attributes, and statistics have been modified. Some got buffed, some got nerfed. But in general, the Bastion also hits really hard now. Their shot is still on the slow side, but every unit that tries to distract the Bastion from protecting you will get annihilated. And that's great, because it was kind of a race between the researchers for health and guardians being able to take hits from a tower to the point where it didn't seem like it was doing enough damage. The Bastion is now here to protect you against high health enemies. Counterpart, the tower is here to protect you against many smaller units. So it used to also be the thing that overwhelming one particular tower was enabling players to just run through, accept the losses, and then so be it, right? If your units are through, the defense no longer counts. The tower in particular has gained an increased attack speed, and it has had its damage reduced, but only per shot, which means the DPS of the tower also has seen an increase. Now, the tower will be more useful in order to stop multiple smaller targets, and the Bastion will be used in order to stop the bigger targets. Of course, all of this gets countered by the availability or the more readily available Brand initiates that are able to topple down towers and bastions with a lot of ease. I think, yeah, I should probably stop the tools because I keep running out of stone, but it won't matter. Speaking of running out, Another of the changes that will probably affect how the early game works is that we have increased the amount of available lumber at the start and decreased the amount of available stone at the start. Together with a little increase in available fish, it means that players will be able to quickly specialize but still have enough on both of the resources in order to deal with everything regarding early game. They're able to place 3, 4, 5 logging camps and sawmills and still keep up with the lumber production, which used to be one of the biggest stop gates. Players usually had to go very quickly into multiple sawmills, multiple logging camps, and now they will have the choice. They can still do that, and maybe even it becomes more efficient if they are very accurate in what they place and how often they place it. But there are now more options on how to spend those initial resources. Finally, and additionally, on top of all of this, there is a very one-line change for the hardware that has so many implications that I could not talk about it. The hardware now, on the one hand, no longer has a different price for buying and for selling. So if you're able to have a lineup of hardwares, you could forever trade in and trade out the same resource for its gold cost eternally. And the second point to aid into this thought process is no longer do the sales or purchases of any player in the map affect the price of every other hardware. So it used to be the case where a player that buys a certain resource for a certain price or a certain amount would influence the cost not only for himself but also for the opponents as well. This could be used as a tactic for economic warfare if you want to think of it like that. But it turned out to be a little bit too obscure to what we wanted to achieve with the trading. Trading was always supposed to be the complementary one-shot solution to the problem you were trying to deal with. And if you finish building your hardware and you realize that there was an enemy all this time trading the one resource that you wanted to deal with, and then just to find out that the inflation has put the price way above what you can afford or what is even beneficial for you at the moment, it was feeling very frustrating, yes. So now the sell price and the buy price are both the same. Also, some of the prices have been modified. I know people are asking how much is a potion. A potion is 100. So some of the prices have been modified as well, I believe, for the grains, everything related to bakeries, since now bread is also more important as well. And of course, without the influence of the inflation, players are able to even trade one by one if that's what they want to do, without the fear of saying like, oh, maybe I will increase the price just by buying this one. Maybe I should save up for 2 or 3 charges before executing the sale. So we have gone over a slew of changes, and all of these will play into different strategies and different approaches that each of the players will have. And it's going to be very interesting to see not only just how they approach the new maps, but also what of the new possibilities will they take advantage the most. However, for everyone that has been having a keen eye, now it's going to say defeated, but I swear I'm not going to get defeated. For those that have been having a keen eye, you will have noticed that there is a lot of bling going on. The Festival of Flowers, of course, not only brings new opportunities and new challenges for everyone, new maps, new content, it also brings new customization options. So I have, for example, already the banner up here. There is right now an event running for people to participate and to run for potions. And there will be a reward if the whole community comes together and gets to complete the challenge. But not only that, they will also be able to find a new slew of skins for, I want to show this one. The 𝗟𝗟𝗏 farmer just looks amazing. He's a person with a bonk in the hand. He just wants to solve the problem and then go back to work. And just like that, there are a lot more. I think in the map just now, I had the decoy for the flowers. Yeah, there we go. The flower decoy. It just, the possibilities of how to customize and how to show your own type of faction. I think the border stones were also different, right? Yes, the flower pot. So it's full of new goodies. We are super happy to share them all with you. And if you keep an eye out, maybe to both the Twitch drops that are happening right now or to social media, we will see if there are more rewards to be had. So this has been our tour into the Festival of Flowers. I want to say thank you all very much for all the patience you've been having with us to join us into this moment, to see finally what we could show, what we've been dying to show you with the new content, the new maps, the new production building as well, which is absolutely beautiful. And more importantly, how to enjoy together. As always, we want to have fun together with you. So when you are now exploring everything that the Festival of Flower has to offer, feel free to drop us a comment. We have now the official Discord entry for the settlers. You are absolutely free to drop us a comment there. We're always paying attention to all of you. We know the community is even preparing a new tournament, so we're very excited to see how all of these matches go and how people enjoy the game in itself. In any case, thank you all very much for being here with us, and thank you once again for joining us to enjoy this Festival of Flower. Goodbye.